welcome everybody to my kitchen. Today we're making chocolate cherry protein bites. Lots of people have different names for them. One of the gals in my organization calls them Yum Balls. Her little guy named them Yum Balls. They're delicious. But I'm so excited to share this with you. The ingredients have been posted a couple of times. I will post them again, but I'll go over those with you too at the beginning. We'll just wait for some people to be jumping on and seeing who's going to join us. But basically, I just wanted to show you a couple of days ago I made some, and here's all that's left. There's 4 of them, and I make them about this size because it's just kind of bite size and really tasty. Something else I noticed about this particular recipe too, it is even better like the second and third day because the flavors get to kind of meld together once they're all rolled into balls. So anyway, all right, well, we'll get started. My name is Karen, as you know, and I really appreciate that you're joining me today. I'm going to be introducing these chocolate cherry, I did the peanut ones before, the chocolate cherry protein bites, and we're going to be utilizing today the Juice Plus Complete, which is a completely plant-based protein powder. We have it in chocolate and vanilla. It's wonderful, and again, being completely plant-based, we don't have to worry about the dairy, the whey-based products kind of gumming up your system. It's really helpful for you. Spirulina, lots of great plants in there, and it tastes really good too. So let's just start with going over the basics, what we need for today's protein bites. So basically you're going to need mashed banana. We'll do that in a moment. We're going to need some dried cherries. I get a lot of my things I get at Trader Joe's because they're close to my house. Quality is incredible. Price is great too. So these are the dried cherries I got from Trader Joe's. We're going to need rolled oats. I keep lots of those on hand. Probably just Quaker. We need cashews. I also get those from Trader Joe's. And then the cashews are a soft nut. You can probably substitute. I actually used almonds the other day. But the cashews are easy to break up. So I just broke them up in the bag here. Next we need the Complete, as I mentioned, the chocolate flavored protein powder. We need dates. I get these at Trader Joe's as well. The medjool dates are really, really sweet, which adds a really nice sweetness to them. So I use that. We do need a tiny bit of salt. It asks for 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of nut butter. I actually am going to use peanut butter because that's what we always have in the house. I love this one, Smart Balance, and the reason I love it is because it's fairly natural, but it doesn't super separate. It still stays kind of peanut buttery without the trans fats and things in it to do that. So that's what I use. That's my go-to. So I see we've got some people joining us. Welcome, welcome. So glad that you're here. So let's get started. Hopefully it will only take another 10 minutes or so of your time. And like I said, I'll post again the ingredients and the amounts so that you can watch the video again and do it yourself. So let's get started. I actually did a couple of things first off. What you want to do is you want to take your sort of wet ingredients and you want to get those really well mixed together. So as I mentioned, we need 4 dates. This recipe makes about 12, 13 balls. You can double it or whatever you need to do to make more, but it makes about 12 or 13 depending on the size that you roll them up. So basically you take your dates, your banana, and your nut butter, and like I said, I'm using peanut butter, and you kind of want to get that all smooshed up. So basically it's a tablespoon of the nut butter, and it was 4 of the dates that were already smooshed up. So I took those out earlier, put them at room temperature, cut them into little pieces, and now I've put them into my little mini food processor. I don't really use a food processor. You can see in the background I have a Vitamix, but something that's this sticky is not good in the Vitamix because the Vitamix isn't something you can take the bottom out of like a regular blender. So I'm using my mini food processor for this. So I apologize, I'm gonna have my back to you because it's plugged in over here. But what I've done is already put the dates in here, and I'm just gonna put my peanut butter in the little mini food processor, and we're gonna smoosh that up. So this will be loud. Give me one moment. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. And so I'm also going to take my banana, and I want 1/2 a banana, so we're going to take 1/2 a banana, and I would highly recommend that it's even more ripe than the one that I have. The one that I used on Wednesday night in that video, was riper, and it's gonna have a better flavor, and it's gonna be obviously easier to smush up. But I'm just gonna smush it a little bit here, and then I'm gonna throw this in. I'm gonna throw this in with stuff in the food processor. Again, you want it to be nice and smooth and sticky, because this is basically forming the base for everything else that you're gonna do. So let's have a go here. Okay. So I'm gonna bring that close so you can see it. Sorry, I was so far away. It's looking like it's pretty well mixed up. I want it to just be really well mixed up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out of here. And we're going to see how sticky it is. We're going to take it off of the food processor pieces, and then we're going to make the rest of it. Yeah, it's not as well mixed as I should have, but we'll just keep mixing it up here while we add the rest of the ingredients. Oh, already that just smells so good. And these are just incredibly tasty. I was super impressed with this recipe. I have a very, very sweet tooth. So for me, when I make things like this, it's a real it's a real question as to whether I'm gonna, am I gonna like this, because I have a real sweet tooth, I've discovered. So, all right, so I'm just stirring this up a little bit more, because the food processor, there's a couple of the spots in the dates that didn't get quite, what's the right word? Smooshed? Masticated? Mixed? And I'm gonna show you this here real quick. All right, so basically this is what maybe I can tilt this a little bit. I'm afraid it's gonna fall off. So basically that's what it looks like. It's pretty well mixed. You just want everything of those first three ingredients to be really well mixed. All right, so then the next thing we're gonna do is start adding the dry ingredients. So we've added a tablespoon of nut butter, a half a mashed banana, and 4 dates that have been obviously pitted and ground up in the food processor. All right, so that is basically your wet ingredients. All right, half a cup of rolled oats. Gonna go in. And in case you can hear that in the background, it sounds like a rain shower. It's my tower garden, which is something else that we love to talk about at Juice Plus, is our indoor hydroponic gardening systems. So it goes on for 3 minutes and then goes off for 45. So right now it's kind of noisy. I apologize for that. Okay, rolled oats. So half a cup of rolled oats. Next is going to be a half a cup of cashews. I measured that out, and then like I said, I kind of crushed them. I just crushed them in the bag because that was the easiest thing to do. I'll pour those in. All right, now in order to make these chocolate, we're going to put in, our Complete comes in little single serving packs like this. It also comes in a bag that you can scoop out as much as you want. I like the single serving bags because I travel a lot, and we all do. And it's easier to travel with little packages. So you can see that it's a very fine powder, which makes it easy to mix up in just about anything. Obviously, like I said, I have the Vitamix, and so I can mix up anything I want with the Vitamix. I can basically liquefy anything I want, but this works great in a blender, in one of those little magic bullets or whatever. And it tastes delicious too. All right, what else do we need? Okay, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So I'm gonna get my salt open. All set. Okay, I'm gonna measure this over the sink in case I spill it. Okay, half of a quarter teaspoon. There we go. And then salt it in. All right, I haven't tried them without salt. I think it doesn't do anything chemically, I don't think, like it would in baking, but it definitely is in the recipe and tasted absolutely wonderful the other day. So, all right, let me just make sure I did everything while I'm putting this together. It's going to take a little bit of you know, manipulation to get it to kind of come together. But so nut butter, mashed banana, rolled oats, cashews, chocolate complete, the dates, and a little bit of salt. Okay, yep. So I'm going to show you this now as we're mixing. It does take a little bit of, like I said, manipulation to get the wet ingredients to mix up with the dry. It's funny, it seems drier than it did the other night. I, like I said, did the test run on Wednesday night. The video is available if you want to take a look at that one. Sorry, I didn't make a video for that one, sorry. But I did do a dry run. Pardon the pun. All right, so this is getting to the point where it just wants to stick to the spoon. So any of you bakers out there know that at that point, there comes a point where it's all in with the hands. Because of COVID-19, I don't get to get my nails done as often, so they've gotten really long. So I don't like getting into food with them, but my hands are nice and clean, so let's just give it a go. All right. And always when you're touching wet stuff like this too, it's good to have something dry on your fingers. So I just brushed my hands against the side of the bowl with the chocolate complete in there. And we're just kind of rolling it, mixing it together. And you want to have it basically like a really thick dough. Sorry, I don't have a great angle on the table, but this is what we're looking right now. And then the last ingredient, oh, there's a giant cashew that I didn't get squished. I'll just leave it in there. Is the dates or the cherries. And the cherries I cut into pieces. They were whole dried cherries, so I cut them into quarters. And they're still going to be pretty big, but it gives a nice, when you bite into one and you have one of those in the bite, just gives a wonderful, that, you know, woo, cherry, chocolate and cherry mixture. So, all right. So I'm just, like I said, mixing that. My hands are getting covered with it. That is what it is. So it's funny because this time the dough is, it seems a lot more wet now that I've mixed it together. So I guess it's going to vary depending on the day and the weather and lots of other things. But so that's essentially what we've got. Like I said, this is a half recipe. You can double the recipe, or I haven't tried it any bigger than that, mind you. But anyway, yeah. So here's what we learned today. Put more of the powder on your hands before you try to roll the balls. It wasn't as wet as this the other night. So, but anyways, essentially what you're going to do then is pick the size that you want to make for each of your bites. And then it's going to be about that big. So I've just got a little plate handy here. You can use parchment paper on a tray, whatever you have, whatever you want. But the good news about these bites, I made some other bites a couple weeks ago that were, the ingredients were much runnier, so they didn't, they couldn't be at room temperature. It was going to be more like a spread or whatever at room temperature. Whereas these remain like formed at room temperature. So anyway, so my hands are a mess right now. I'm going to do the rest of this later. You don't need to see me sitting here rolling out balls, but essentially that's what they're going to look like. Pardon my fingers. Give me 2 seconds and I will get this cleaned off. I can finish that later. Okay, sorry about that. Didn't expect that to happen. They were a little bit drier last time I made them. So this is what they look like today when you make them. Okay, let's see if we can get that close. So you can see sort of all the individual pieces and stuff, and you can certainly see the rolled oats. So that's the first day, and believe me, they taste great. This is a couple of days later. So see how all the ingredients have melded together, and you're gonna just get more richer flavor at that point too. I would say obviously refrigerated, you can keep them like 3 or 4 days. I don't think they'll last that long because I only have 4 left from the sort of 15 that I made. But you can definitely see the difference between the brand new one and then, there we go, side by side, that's easier. And then you can see how they just really meld together. So, so that's chocolate cherry, I don't know why I want to say that wrong, chocolate cherry protein bites. And this recipe makes, like I said, 12, 13 of those, if you roll them out about the size that I have. I'll post the recipe one more time, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing this. Once again, my name is Karen, and I appreciate you joining me today. If you're interested and you would like some more information about Juice Plus, which is 17 to 30 fruits and vegetables in a capsule and has kept me a lot healthier than I probably would have been for the last 15 years, or a completely plant-based chocolate shake or vanilla shake, we have that. We also have a completely plant-based omega, so you can avoid the middle fish and not have all that unpleasant flavor. And then our tower garden, which I'll do another video about another day. But thank you for joining me for chocolate cherry protein bites, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.